Yu-Gi-Oh! An incredibly complex card game with tens of thousands of cards. However, what if each set was separated from the rest of the massive card pool and your choices when building a deck were extremely limited? In this series, in order to learn Yu-Gi-Oh! From the ground up, I will be embarking on an adventure through the history of the card game with Jeexx. In each episode, we will have access to all the cards in a select product, and using only the cards in that product, both of us will build a deck before playing a best of 3 match to determine the winner of the episode. We will move in a chronological order in the series, and with each new episode we will forget the cards of the past in order to experience something brand new. We hope you enjoyed this adventure through Yu-Gi-Oh! And its evolution with us. Welcome to the historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey. What is up, ladies and fellas, and welcome back to the historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey, and Merry Christmas, or Happy Holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. So if everything goes well, this should find you on Christmas Eve, and if it doesn't, then, well, crap. I messed up something. But yeah, do not call me out for my hair looking the exact same, my shirt being the same as last time. I think I mentioned it there as well, but I'm recording multiple of these like quite almost in a row because I'm not going to be here for the holidays. So when you're seeing this, I am not here. I'm actually visiting my family and friends. But for the Christmas episode, we decided to go back in time and bring back the Christmas spirit from the past and from the Jeexx era. Since we completely overlooked Duelist packs, they're kind of like a bad combination of a in between of like a starter deck and a structure deck in terms of like power level, but they still have a very clear theme, and I feel like they're gonna be still like fun enough going to be play going forward. So we decided that for Christmas we would go back and revisit them. So this breakdown is gonna be longer than normal because although there are not too many cards in each of them, there are 6 products that we're going to cover. So the first thing, I'll go over them in the pairs that we're actually going to be playing. The first pairing is going to be Chaz versus Jade and Yuki 1. So let's take a look at what they contain. And actually these won't be too bad because most of the cards we have already seen. So Chaz is a terrible duelist pack. I'm not going to lie. You have Ojama, green, yellow, and black. Then you have V Tiger Jet, X Head Cannon, Y Dragon has Z Metal Attack, W Wing Catapult. You have the OG like not great Union package here. Then you have the Armed Dragon line that we have already seen, and for the extra deck you have XZ's Dragon Cannon, or XYZ I guess, VW Tiger Catapult, and then the fuck all VW XYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon. If I get to summon this, I'm declaring myself a winner on the spot. You also have Ojama King, but let's just say we're not going to be seeing Ojama King. As for the Mako Ojama Delta Hurricane, pops all your cards your opponent controls if you control 3 garbage cards. Level Modulation gives your opponent immediately puts you -3 to spell summon a level monster from your graveyard, ignoring the summoning conditions, and it can't attack or apply its effects the turn you use this. Ojama Magic adds all 3 of the bad Ojamas to your hand when sent to the graveyard. Ojama Assault is only for Ojama King. We don't care about that. Magical Mallet gives you reshuffling. Inferno Reckless Summon lets you get multiple of a card on the field at once. Other Trio cloaks your opponent's field. Chthonian Blast, when something you control is destroyed, you destroy the monster on the field with the lowest attack and then burn both players. And genuinely, I think the best card in the game, not in the game, in the deck, Chthonian Polymer. When your opponent fusion summons a monster, you tribute a monster to take control of the fusion monster. Obviously, we're going to be playing against Jaden's deck, so it's going to be a fusion-based deck. And let's just say that most of our cards are garbage. So it's going to be nice if we can swap some of them for a fusion. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, but Jeexx is going to be piloting the Jaden variants for all 3 of these, because he is the hero guy. And I'm just going to be suffering with the worst decks. As for a Duelist package in UK1 though, it is the OG Elemental Hero lineup. So you have Avian Burst, Sinotrix, Claim, and Sparkman. You also have Wing Kerbo and Wing Kerbo level 10 here. I think this is the first time that Jeexx actually gets access to Rottweiler, so that's pretty cool. Bubbleman also here, and then Dark Catapulter for a decent defensive card. We've seen all of these already. Same thing with, I think, the line of fusions. Flame Wingman, Thunder Giants, Rampart Blaster, Steam Healer. Steam Healer, much less iconic and impressive than the other three. The other three all are actually decent. Polymerization included here, but that doesn't matter since we can include it anyway. Fusion Sage to get Polymerization. We're returning alive to recur some of your stuff. Skyscraper, mostly obviously for Flame Wingman. You also have access to Bubble Blaster if you want to play Bubbleman Beatdown for whatever reason, but probably not going to see that. Hero emerges to get stuff from your hand on the field. Sorry if my brain is melting. And actually a lot of like battle traps here. So Draining Shield and Negate attack both, negating your opponent's attack. One of them ends the battle phase entirely, and one of them gets you life points equal to the attack. And then Hero Signal, when a monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, you get to summon a elemental hero monster from your hand or deck. Level 4 or lower, but in the context of this, it's going to be any of your elemental heroes. So for the first one, I definitely think we have the short end of the stick. But there is always the possibility of Jeexx not getting into his fusions, because apart from the fusions, if you look at the lineup, like Dark Catapulter is 1500 defense, and obviously you have a 2k Wallet Clayman, and Sparkman is 1600, but the monsters themselves are not very impressive. But if it gets to a single fusion, it's GG's. Second pairing though, we are going to do Zane Trucial versus Jaden 2, and Zane obviously has the Cyber Dragon, so you have a Cyber Dragon. You also have Barrier and Laser Dragon here. You have Garbage. Cyber Phoenix actually pretty good because it's replaces itself when destroyed by Avalanche into a grave. And then we have the Cyber Darks that when normal summon, target a level 3 or lower dragon monster in your graveyard to equip it, and then they have their own bad effects. Edge is the best. It can at least attack directly for 400 if that's what you need to win. Horn does piercing and kill. If it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it does 300 burn damage. These are garbage. And fun fact, Infernal Dragon, the only dragon in the deck, is a level 4. So none of these can summon it. But Infernal Dragon actually decent, a 2000 attack monster that can be normal summoned. And during the end phase, if it attacks this turn, it gets destroyed. But when it's destroyed by enemies on the field, you can tribute a monster into spell summon it from the grave. Actually pretty decent. Here once again, kind of same thing as with the Jaden one. The Shining Star is definitely the extra deck. Cyber Twin Dragon, obviously very good card. Effectively does 56, can attack for 5600 in your turn. And 2800 is nothing to scoff at. As for the attack stat, Cyber Dragon, obviously if you manage to get all 3 of your Cyber Dragons, you get a 4k beat stick with piercing. And a Chimera Attack Over Dragon we've actually seen before, which just takes Cyber Dragon and then however many machine monsters you want. And let's just say we have the tools necessary to bring it out. Cyber Dragon also here for the Cyber Darks, but that's much less impressive. As for the back row, we actually have access to a lot of good spell traps here. So MST, obviously very consistent. Limiter removal here to boost your Cyber Dragons, and specifically Cyber Dragon fusions. Same thing with Power Bond. If you summon, if your opening hand somehow is Power Bond, 3 Cyber Dragon, and Limiter removal, then shake my hand. That's a 1600 Cyber End Dragon, which is going to be very funny if that somehow happens. DDC if you need to get something out of your deck, but it's very slow. You need to basically wait 3 turns. Creature Swap is here, which I guess if there's one use for the Cyber Dark, it's to creature swap them away. Fund a generator unit to spell summon Cyber Laser Dragon, but it needs to tribute 2 Cyber Dragons, so probably not great enough to play. And what I alluded to with the Chimera Attack over Dragon, we have Overload Fusion and Future Fusion here. Call of the Haunted, obviously very good, because everything revolves around Cyber Dragon. We all have 3 of them, so being able to reuse them, or our fusions, obviously very good. Trap Jammer for traps activated during the battle phase. Attack Reflector unit summons Cyber Barrier Dragon that only needs 1, so this is playable, but still not great. But yeah, Cyber Dragon is good, but apart from that, it's kind of unassuming. I feel like this deck is like very feast and famine, because if you get to your fusions, it's going to be incredibly good. But if you don't, and you don't have that many tools to get into them, then it's going to be very hard to do anything. As for the Jane and Yuki 2, as for very hard to do anything, it is the Neos deck, but it includes some other elemental heroes here as well. As we can see, Blade Edge and Wild Heart are here, so Wild Heart at least gives you access to it. Actually very good card. But yeah, Neos here, and then we have the Neos Patience. We do not have Glomos or Hummingbird. We have Aqua Dolphin, Phalaros Scarab, and Dark Panther. Card Trooper, actually a very good card, and genuinely, we talked about this like earlier, a little bit like beforehand with Jeexx. And this deck actually feels like the optimal way to be played would just be a Card Trooper beatdown, which is quite funny. But yeah, also you get access to Avian since you have Elemental Hero Wild Wingman here. You'll have also Wild Edge. Then for the Neos fusions, you obviously have Aqua Flare and Dark Neos. Dark or Flare, the best one, probably actually in the context of this, like Flare Neos is going to be the best one since Dark Neos doesn't really have anything to really negate. Cyclone Boomerang here to make your what's his face, Wild Heart a 2k beater, but just in the context of this, when Cyber Dragon is 2100, I don't know if this is worth. Then you have the Hero Flash cards. Heated Heart, Emergency Call, Red Justice, and Oversoul. Obviously, E-Call, I don't see Jeexx now playing 3 of it, just a Rhoda for E-Heroes. Red Justice and Heated Heart are usable, and Oversoul, I mean, he can get Neos out of it if he somehow gets Neos in his grave. But yeah, I mean, you know what they do. Fake Hero, spell summon an elemental hero monster from your hand, but it cannot attack, and return it to the hand during the end phase. Obviously here just to bring out Neos. Common Solace here, Neos Space obviously as the necessary training wheels for Neos. Hero Barrier, once again, because we need to have all the ways of actually negating attacks. And then stuff that's for Hero Kit support. Let's just say Neos Spaces are great, but I don't think we're going to be seeing Hero Kid. I feel like this is hard to call, like, for the matchup, because I feel like both of the decks are, like, really janky. We at least have a Cyber Dragon, so I think we have the better deck here. But I think this is probably pretty close. And finally, we have Aster Phoenix versus Jane and Yuki 3. And I know what you're thinking, Jesse would make the most sense. But the reason why we decided to not include that one is because we needed to not include one of them. And the reason why we decided to go with Jesse Anderson one is because the deck would have been literally identical to what Jeexx played in Force of the Breaker. Whatever was the set that had me playing Volcanics. Basically the last set that we played with Champion Pack allowed in the main deck in game 1. Regardless, like, it would be the same thing. It's a Crystal Beast deck, and also there even isn't, there's no Crystal Dragon. So it would be so boring. So that's why we decided to instead go with Aster Phoenix, which probably is the best deck that we have access to. So Aster Phoenix, I think we've seen all of these cards already. The notable ones, obviously, Diamond Dude being able to use spell effects in your grave, Dreadmaster, if you can get it off Clock Tower Prison, obviously going to be pretty big. Defender, whopping 2700 defense, and funny enough, there aren't too many ways for Jeexx to actually get over this. So even though like the obviously horrendous problem with giving your opponent draws, it's still very big and actually might be worth just to have. Dogma we have as our big boss monster. Funny enough, we have no plasma, and as you'll see, like obviously because of that, we have no Destiny and Dragoon, so that's kind of tragic. But Dogma, if somehow it hits the field, it's gonna, well, probably win the game. Fearmonger, one of the better ones. Obviously, if it's in the grave, you can summon another Destiny hero from the grave. Dasher, in your grave, when you draw into a monster, you can spell summon it. You can do this once when Dasher is in the grave, and a 1-tribute 2100 meter normally isn't too great, but in the context of this episode, like, it could actually do something. And finally, Malicious, obviously, incredibly good. Watch us open all 3 Malicious in our opening. And oh yeah, I completely forgot to mention, but we are playing all of these as best of ones, because we are doing, obviously, 3 different products, so we decided that would be the better way to do it. Phoenix Enforcer and Shiny Phoenix Enforcer, so yeah, we can play Sparkman, Avian, and Burst Trainer if we want to. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Clock Tower Prison, which, let's just say, since I already took a look at, I have seen both of the duel specs. Funny enough, there's no spell trap removal at all in the Jaden Yuki Pack 3, which means we could go into Dreadmaster, but if we actually just have a Clock Tower Prison sitting at 4 clock counters, Jeexx cannot win the game unless we deck out. Literally. So that's very funny. As for the other things, we have Dark City as well, but as I just mentioned, that's probably why we'll rather play Clock Tower Prison. Cyclone Blade here is to pop spell traps if we want to. Destiny Draw, probably going to be like the best spell in the deck. Obviously, getting this off Diamond Dude just means you don't have to discard. You just get a draw 2. Destiny Signal is the hero signal for Destiny monsters. The shield protects a Destiny hero from being destroyed by a battle. D-Chain gives a monster attack boosting and also makes it do burn damage. D-Counter, when your Destiny hero monster is attacked, you destroy the attacking monster. And finally, Eternal Dread immediately places 2 clock counters on Clock Tower Prison. And finally, sorry, I know this is a very long one. I apologize. But this is the final one, Jaden Yuki 3. This is where we have Hummingbird, Gramble, and Glomas. We didn't have them in the Neos one. I forgot to even talk about Gramble, obviously the best one. Why? I don't know. Are there Neos fusions here? Nope. But as for the other thing, as you have here, Captain Golden level 4, 2100 beater, actually very good in that regard as well, but you can also discard it to add a Skyscraper here. Neos Alias is here. So, oh, sorry. Yeah, you have Neos if you want to play the Gemini, which arguably is the better Neos, but you know, that's a story for another day. But the big thing here is the evil hero. So, Malicious Edge, Infernal Gainer, and Infernal Prodigy. Malicious Edge, the Blade Edge equivalent of evil heroes. Infernal Gainer gives a double attacks to your Fiend monsters, and then when this card, if you want to activate it, you banish this card, and then it gets summoned back. And Prodigy can be special summoned if you have no other monsters. And then if you tribute someone with a hero monster with it, you draw 1. I'm not sure if we've seen these before. I think we've had them, but I'm not sure we've seen them, so that's why I wanted to explain them. Dark Gaia takes a Fiend monster and Rock monster. The Rock monster here, the only thing you have is Gramble. And all of these must be spell summoned Dark Fusion, that is the fusion for evil heroes. And then Gaia gets the stats of the, attack of the monsters used for its summon. And then it can flip your opponent's defense cards to attack. While Cyclone is the fusion of Avian and Wildheart, also dark fusion a Dark Fusion card. If it attacks, it has the ancient gear, a thing of disabling your opponent's back row until the damage step, and then it pops all their set spell traps if it inflicts battle damage. If a sniper can burn your opponent during a standby phase when it's in defense. So I think the Rampart Blaster attacked in defense. It attacked directly. Infernal Sniper just deals burn damage. And Malicious Fiend, the big boss, 3500 attack. In this episode, though, the only way you can actually summon this is to Malicious Edge, which is very funny. But during your opponent's battle phase, all monsters they control are changed to face-up attack and have to attack Malicious Fiend if able. So if Jeexx brings this out, we just lose, probably. Actually, no. Okay, this plus Infernal Sniper, then sure. Because this is the only thing that can do damage to us with Clock Tower Prison if we find that, obviously. Then for the spell trap, we have Hero City here. We have Cover Contact to draw 2 Byzantium Patience from your handed deck to the grave. Dark Fusion and Dark Calling, basically the same thing. You use it to go to your evil heroes. Mirror Gate, when your elemental hero is attacked, gives your opponent the elemental hero that is being attacked and gives you the other monster, and then it switches them back. And then a hero counter attack, probably the only last relevant card, where when an elemental monster you control is destroyed by battle, your opponent picks a card from your hand, and if it's an elemental hero, your opponent destroys one of the monsters, and you special summon the hero from your hand. Sorry, that was a lot. That was a over a 20-minute set breakdown. I apologize, but like I said, hopefully you understand, since although most of the cards were already familiar to us, I still like talking about them a little bit, and we had 6 products here for us today. But regardless, I feel like this will be a very fun set. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the deck breakdowns, since there are also going to be 3 of those. So yeah, we better be fast with them. But yeah, enjoy the deck breakdowns and enjoy the rest of the episode.
Okay, gamers. So, Duelist packs, rapid fire. We got elemental heroes. We got Neospatians. We got evil heroes. First off, we're starting with elemental heroes. We're starting off with a crappy fusion deck that doesn't even have 15 cards in it, and a crappy main deck that doesn't even have any amount of monsters in it, which is kind of stupid if you ask me. I don't know. This is probably going to be a I'm foreshadowing here. I may or may not draw a single fucking monster for 5 turns. Who knows? I don't. But yeah, we have Avian, Clayman, Bubbleman, Sparkman, Burstinatrix, and Rottweiler. Rottweiler is something that we haven't got to use before this. It's a card that allows you to basically recover an elemental hero and a polymerization in your graveyard. Simple as. Fusion's actually probably... Yeah, Fusion Sage. Fusion Sage is something that I think I played way back when, because I wanted to have a filler card for polymerization, but I don't remember exactly anymore. It just adds a polymerization. Then you have Warrior Turning Alive, as per usual. Skyscraper, which is probably going to be the de facto card in this to deal with anything that hits the board, because I can't really see any other way of actually dealing with Iron Dragon, dealing with XYZ cards, dealing with literally anything in the set, you know? None of these are going to get over them. And I don't think I'm gonna hit any of these. Even then, these are all super tiny. They're like the most attack that I have is technically... Well, no, not technically. 2.4k is the most attack that I have. So Skyscraper is a mandatory card to have. And then Draining Shield, a hero emerges and negate attack, specifically to deal with possibly the eventuality of I don't have anything on board. I need to sustain somehow. But in actuality, I should probably be playing less hero emerges... maybe even less Draining Shields, and just put like an Avian in and a Burstinatrix in, and that way we could have a little bit more, you know, just a few more cards in here. And then I don't remember what else the set has. Let me actually just check. This is also to kind of put myself on full blast for building a shit deck. Because yes, we've played these games already. Breaking kayfabe here, we've played these games already. I built a shit deck and I got mad because I built a shit deck and I lost because of my shit deck. We could put in Winged Karibo, we could put in Dark Catapulter. I mean, Dark Catapulter isn't a horrible card. It's got 1.5 thousand defense, which would arguably make it really good against most cards in the Jazz deck. So if I actually spent the time to think about this a little bit further, I could have most likely cut out 2 Fusion Sagers or something, and boom, at an even 2020. And if I wanted to even be fair, like even more sensible, boom, 2119. That would be a good deck. And maybe just take out these from here. Blam. That's perfect. That would be a perfect deck to play with. It would have monsters to wall shit with. It would have monsters to swing over shit with. And I wouldn't be sitting there thinking, when am I going to draw a card? When am I going to draw a monster? Yeah, maybe a little bit salty at myself for building such a bad deck. But here, this is a improved version of the deck that I had previously. Would probably won the game. Spoilers. Then we have Neos. I actually think this is a good deck. Like, there's some stuff in it that I think could probably be changed, but like maybe cut out one hero barrier and add another avian or something like that, or even cut out an. I think that's fine already. Yep, cut out hero barrier to add a avian, because I think having R just Justice in here is kind of griefing, because I don't have that many hero cards. But yeah, we have Card Trooper, which is going to be the de facto beat stick in the deck, along with Hate Heart, which is supposedly going to be able to make it swing over basically anything that's played on turn 1, or maybe even turn 2 if it's big enough. Let's imagine a world where my opponent, I go first, I set one card, I set like an avian, I set like a scarab, I summon like a wild heart, and Weebfox goes Cyber Dragon to something else, and then I summon Card Trooper, I mill 3 cards, I use Hate Heart, I swing over the Cyber Dragon with my Card Trooper, and then I just sit on the Card Trooper, lose the Card Trooper, draw 1 card, and go -1 for dealing with the Cyber Dragon. But that's still -1 to deal with the Cyber Dragon. It's not horrible. It could be significantly worse. Then just to explain what Card Trooper does, because I don't think we saw it when we played it, but like that was already like almost half a year ago. So once per turn, you can choose a number between 1 and 3, and then send that many cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard, and this card gains 5 on attack for each card sent to the graveyard this way until the end of this turn. If this card you control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, draw 1 card. This is a really, really good card to normal summon and swing into stuff in early Yu-Gi-Oh! And arguably, I would say if you played something like a draft format, this would still be a really good card. Like in the future, there's a set called Royal Omega Pack. I would say that this is one of the best cards outside of like Cyber Dragons that you can draw for a turn 2 play. Well, and also the fact that you can probably go into fusions and shit, but still, those are rare. To explain the actual like win con outside of Card Trooper Beatdown, it's draw Blade Edge, draw Wild Heart, draw Polymerization, go into Wild Edge, or maybe use Wild Wingman to defend myself with and maybe destroy stuff on the field, like spell traps. And there's also the option of utilizing Hero Flash if I happen to have the insane fortune of pulling all the hero cards, and then summoning Neos, swinging with Neos directly, and maybe losing the game off of that. I don't know. But I think the biggest threat as a monster is Flare Scarab Neos Fusion, so Flare Neos, because Dark Neos doesn't really do anything in this, specifically because the Zane deck doesn't have any cards that have effects that are reasonably powerful. They're mostly just filler kind of effects, I mean. And there's stuff like Cyber End Dragon, but that's also only piercing, but yeah, whatever. And Aqua Neos is just your filler to have it be 15 cards, because I preferred that, and I also needed to fill out the deck a little bit, so I put Aqua Dolphins in. But yeah, Flare Neos is probably the biggest beat stick in the deck, and the way that you would go into it is hit Fake Hero into Neos, summon Flare Scarab, and go into Neos Fusion. And then if you happen to have Neo Space in hand or right on the field, it's just going to stay there, and it's going to be a big beat stick. That's it. It's just going to sit there and be happy. Okay. And then we have the Jaden 3. Wait, it's... Oh, yeah, this is right. Okay. So, for reference, I made 2 different versions of this deck, specifically because I ran into the issue of I literally did not have cards I could use. So, this is the deck that I built with the like mentality of, oh, this could win. Like this could actually maybe take the game. Specifically because Malicious Edge is pretty good, but more so because I could maybe use Neo's alias beat down with Captain Gold and Skyscraper to do stuff. But it's unrealistic, it's unlikely, and I had to put in so much filler that's fucking stupid. Then we have the actual Jaden 3 deck that I played, which was... It's a mess, okay? It doesn't have a wing con, it's a fucking joke. It has Captain Gold to search the skyscrapers and thin out the deck. It has Neo's alias for a bit
that you had.
English is not my first language, guys. Please do not make fun of me. Do make fun of me. I deserve it. It's a big beat stick to fight against basically anything that the Aster deck has that isn't Dasher or Dogma or I think Double Dude. I think Double Dude is also bigger, but I don't think Double Dude is gonna be something that's gonna hit the board. No, Double Dude is not bigger. Never mind. Never mind. I thought Double Dude for some reason was massive. Like 2K massive. And I don't think the Aster set even has fucking Dark City, so it doesn't matter. And even if it does, I don't know if it's going to be playing Dark City, considering Dark City also requires you to attack into monsters with higher attack, right? It does have Dark City. And then the question is, how often are you going to be attacking into monsters with higher attack, considering I only have like 4 of them. And Malicious, I guess. But yeah. We have Neo's Alias, which is something that I don't think we've seen be played in the main deck yet. It's a Gemini monster, so it's treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard. And if you could normal summon, you can normal summon this card again, and it becomes Elemental Hero Neo as well on the field. Then we have Wildheart again. We have Infernal Gainer and Infernal Prodigy as the evil heroes from this. These cards are not very good, but they're fiends, so they work for Dark Gaia, and on top of that, Infernal Gainer can make it so that your Malicious Edge can really go ham. Yeah. And then we have Infernal Prodigy, which is if you control no monsters, you can spell summon this card in attack position once per turn during the end phase. If this card was distributed this turn to tribute summon a hero monster, draw 1 card. I mean, you could make an argument that... Wait, did I even have it in my Jaden 3? Oh, I fucked up. This is a bad deck. Holy fuck! I should totally remove like blam at least these and then put. Yeah, perfect. At least this has an effect. But yeah, then we have Malicious Edge, which is actually a card you're supposed to play with Infernal Prodigy. I'm pretty sure, which says you can, if your opponent controls a monster, you can tribute summon this this card face up with 1 tribute. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. So it's basically Blade Edge, but good. I know. Massive, right? And the fusion that it has is also arguably better than what's his face? I don't remember anymore. But Wild Edge. But the fusion requirements are what would make that be the case. Except you have to use Dark Fusion for it, and you need a Fiend, which is something you don't have outside of fucking Malicious Edge himself. A level 6 or higher Fiend, sorry. So yeah, it's kind of shit. Then we have Hummingbird for filler, Glow Moss for filler, 3 copies of Grand Mold for perfect form, like the perfect form of removal for everything. 3 copies of Avian, 3 copies of Bursting Tricks, 3 copies of Clayman, 3 copies of Sparkman. Convert Contact. If you control no monsters, send 2 Neospatial monsters, 1 from your hand and 1 from your deck, to the graveyard. Then draw 2 cards. This card is shit, but it's not unplayable in this because we have Neospatians, guys. And then we have Dark Calling, which allows you to fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that can only be special summoned by using Dark Fusion, by banishing the fusion materials you mentioned on it from your hand or graveyard, not from the field. Dark Fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using fusion monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. Your opponent cannot target it with card effects this turn. That's a pretty good card too. I would say that this card is a little weird because it only works for like combat protection or battle protection, I guess. And that's not like a combat trick protection, because you're most likely your opponent won't be using any cards that say, "Oh, I'm gonna pop a card on your side of the field on your turn," in 2006 or 2008. You know, it's just unlikely to happen. Wait, Skyscraper again. I'm a Skyscraper 2. Once per turn during your main phase, if you control this card, you can target one elemental hero monster in your graveyard that was destroyed by battle and special summon that target. This card can actually be really good in a super grindy game where both of you are like slowly just killing monsters in combat. And you can just use this to slowly accrue back the cards and slowly start like expanding from there. Sorry about that. But you have to keep in mind that, well, they have to be destroyed by battle. They don't have to be destroyed by battle that turn, but they have to be destroyed by battle. And it's just kind of, if your opponent happens to somehow destroy them some other way, or you happen to be using your elemental heroes for other things, this doesn't happen, or this doesn't do anything, and it's just a dead card. But, well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Swing of Memories, target one normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but destroy it during the end phase of this turn. Works on Neo's Alias, works on all the elemental hero normal monsters. Hero Counterattack. When an elemental hero monster you control is destroyed by battle, your opponent chooses and reveals one random card from your hand. Then, if it is an elemental hero monster, you destroy one monster and one monster your opponent controls, and special summon the chosen monster. Now again, this could be really good if it just like said hero, for example, or if it was just a hero emerges, but it also destroys a card. Then we have Mirror Gate. When an opponent's monster declares an attack targeting a face-up elemental hero monster, you switch control of the opponent's attacking monster with the target monster you control, then calculate damage. Control of both monsters switches back during the end phase. There we go. Actually, I could probably talk about the... so we have Dark Gaia here. It requires one Fiend monster, one Rock monster. Must be special by Dark Fusion. The original attack of this card becomes the combined attack of the materials used for its fusion summon. So 900 plus, for example, 2600 is a measly 3.5 thousand, or a 900 plus 1600 is 2.5 thousand. It's not very good, or like 1.2k. It's kind of shit. This card is kind of shit. Infernal Sniper requires claim and a burst tricks. Can be destroyed by spell effects once per turn during a standby phase. Inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. This card must be in face-up defense position to resolve this effect. Activate and resolve this effect. Inferno Wing. This is the evil here. Well, these are all like versions of the elemental hero fusions. Inferno Wing is the Flame Wingman. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. If this card destroys a monster by battle, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack or defense, whichever is higher. Lightning Golem, it destroys a monster on the field. It's just a better Spark Giant, Thunder Giant. Like, all of these are just, well, other than maybe Infernal Sniper, these are just better versions of the original counterparts. Wild Cyclone, if this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate any spell trap cards until the end of the damage step. If this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, it destroys all set spell traps your opponent controls. Malicious Fiend, which is the card that I was talking about earlier, which is the Wild Edge equivalent for evil heroes. Requires a Malicious Edge and a level 6 or higher Fiend monster, which in this case is just another Malicious Edge because I didn't have options. And during your main opponent's battle phase, all monsters they control are changed to a face-up attack position, and each monster they control must attack this card if able. Oh wait, no, never mind. I was thinking, oh, this card can attack all your opponent's monsters, but yeah, it just forces them to attack it, which is kind of funny, kind of interesting in a way. But yeah, that about does it. There is nothing much else to discuss for these Jaden Duelist packs. I already broke the kayfabe earlier that this is gonna be I recorded this after I got my ass whooped. But yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Welcome back, guys and gals, and here is one of the 3 decks that we're going to be playing today. So I thoroughly apologize for the 20 minutes breakdown. Obviously there's a lot of product, but still I feel like I rambled about some cards way too much. So in return, I'll make this very swift for you. So let's cover all 3 of the decks in order that we're going to be playing. So the first thing is the Chaz deck, and this is easily the worst pilot that we have here. So we have the Armed Dragon package here. Then we have all 3-offs of all the Union monsters and their counterparts to go into Tiger Catapult and Dragon Cannon. And Dragon Catapult Cannon if God decides to smile upon me. But mostly actually, if you look at just the stats, Head Cannon is a 1800 beat stick, and Tiger Jet is the same for defense. And then we can use Catapult, Metal Tank, Dragon Head to give them stats. So that is the more likely scenario that we'll actually just use them to go beat down mode. Magical Mallet is here if we end up drawing stuff like Armed Dragon level 10 to maybe shuffle our hand. Overall, just like if we end up getting like opening 3 Metal Tank, or we end up drawing like multiple level 7, level 10s. It's a -1, but it still lets us redraw and try something new. Level Modulation as a desperation play if for whatever reason we decide that it's good enough to go -3 to get Armed Dragon level 7 or level 10 of the field. Grave of Enkindling. What was that? Enkindling. When a monster you control is destroyed by battle lines into a graveyard, each player targets a monster into graveyard and spell summons it in defense. But neither of those can change their battle positions. Chthonian Polymer, we contribute one of our bad monsters to get Jeexx's fusion monster if he goes into a fusion when we have monster. And Chthonian Blast, when a face-up monster we control is destroyed by battle, you destroy the face-up monster on the field that has the lowest attack and burn both players. And finally, Ojama Trio to clog Jeexx's field. No side deck since these are all going to be best of ones. As for the extra deck, we have Ojama King that we will not be able to summon. And then we have Tiger Catapult, Dragon Catapult Cannon. That Tiger Catapult doesn't do anything. Dragon Cannon, by discarding a card, then can pop a card your opponent controls. And Dragon Catapult Cannon can just banish a card your opponent controls. And then it can flip your opponent's things. But I'll be very surprised if we go into any of these. As for the second one is the Zane Truesdale one, and this is what we're going to be playing for that. So what we have here is 3 Cyber Dragon, 3 Cyber Phoenix. Cyber Phoenix just replaces itself, so it's good to filter through the deck. A single Cyber Barrier Dragon and a single Attack Reflector unit. I was just trying to fill the deck. I'm not gonna lie, I had a really hard time finding 40 cards to play in this deck, as you can see, with the 6 copies of different Cyber Darks that we have. 3 Infernal Dragon, this is a 2k beat stick that pops itself if it attacks. And yeah, Keel and Horn, their effects will never do anything. Cyberdark Edge, if Jeexx has 400 or less life points and we have our normal summon, we can normal summon Edge and attack for 400 direct and win the game. I probably should have just put 3 Edge here instead of like one of these, but I just decided if we want to be really funny and somehow like we get an opportunity to go like Future Fusion Overload or somehow go to like Power Bond Cyber Dark Dragon when we have Infernal in the grave, it's gonna be funny, so we gotta go for that. Then we have 3 MST, just because like it can remove all of Jeexx Spec Row. And through Creature Swap. And the funny thing here is I legit think that this is probably the best thing that we have for our Cyber Darks, that if Jeexx has anything of value, then we can Creature Swap one of our Cyber Darks to him. But since he's playing Neos, chances are that he's not going to have anything playable either, and we'll just be with our shit piles. 3 limiter removal, 3 power bond, 3 overload fusion, 3 future fusion, and I 3 double polymerization in there as well. We want to maximize our chances of getting into some of our actual Cyber Dragon fusions. Obviously, if we go into something like Chimera Attack, that would be with like future fusion overload. But if we open like double Cyber Twin, then having power bond or polymerization for that obviously is going to be insanely good. And if we open a Cyber Dragon fusion with power bond, like the Exodia would basically be power bond, limited removal, and being able to go into twin or end. Like that would be hilarious. But yeah. Finally, we have 3 Call of the Haunted. Probably the best card in the deck, I'm not gonna lie. Just being able to use our Cyber Dragons, because we only have access to 3 obviously, and those are what runs our deck. And then obviously we can also use fusions if we manage to get to them. And then because I needed a 40th card, a single trap jammer. Since there are, I think, 2 traps in the deck that end our a battle phase or negate our attack, I'm Grassman Trosters. And like I said, for the extra deck, Cyber Dragon will only come up if we decide to go Magical Fairyland. Chimera deck Over Dragon can attack the number of fusion materials against 800 for each. Cyber End is just for the 4k beat stick with piercing, and Cyber Twin 2800 beat stick that can attack twice. You know what Cyber Dragon does. And finally we have the Aster one, probably the best one, and the extra deck here doesn't matter, so I'm just looking at them here. But what we have for the deck itself, we have 3 Dogma, we have 3 Defender. Dogma is basically the card that will win us the game. I'll explain the win con, if you can call it that, in a little bit. But 3 Dogma, this is our big boss monster. Sadly, we don't have Plasma, so we could go into Destiny and Dragoon. That would make that deck actually very good. 3 Defender obviously gives your opponent cards, which is bad, but this is actually very good for us in the strategy. I'll actually cover Defender, Dogma, and Prison at once when we get to Prison. 3 Diamond Dude, this lets you use your normal spells, normal spell effects in your graveyard, but the only thing that we can use with it is Destiny Draw. But it still like helps us filter through our deck, helps us see our deck, and it's Diamond Dude. Fearmonger, 3 copies. Doing our standby phase if it's in our grave, because it was destroyed by battle specifically and sent there last turn, then we can spell summon another Destiny Hero monster from our grave. Dasher kind of does the same thing. Once when we draw into a monster, when it's in our graveyard, we can reveal the monster and special summon it. But this can be done once when Dasher is on the in graveyard, and you know what Malicious does. You can banish it from your grave, it's special summon another Malicious from our deck. And then we have a single Captain Tenacious here. That's why we are playing D-Shield. During our standby phase, we can target a Destiny Hero monster in our grave that was destroyed by battle since our last standby phase, and special summon the target. So we have a lot of ways of actually getting stuff out of the grave, and the reason why we have that is to somehow be able to actually summon enough monsters in one turn to be able to special summon for Dogma. So if it just can generate two bodies on the field and then normal summon a third thing, then we can go into Dogma and have our win condition online there. Defender actually drawing cards here for our opponents is not too bad, since the only thing that can swing over Defender, there is Skyscraper. Actually no, Skyscraper is only for attack. Yeah, never mind. The only thing that can swing over a Defender actually is Malicious Fiend, the fusion monster, which requires exactly 2 Malicious Edge to go into, so that's going to be very hard. And funny enough, when I looked at the Duelist pack JNE UK3, it has no way of getting rid of spell traps. So if we have a Clock Tower Prison with at least 4 counters, Jeexx cannot deal damage to us, because he can only he has Infernal Sniper that can burn us for 1,000. That's it. But otherwise, he literally cannot deal damage to us. So actually, Clock Tower Prison just being there, Defender sitting on the field and making him go through his deck faster, actually means that deck out is a very realistic win condition for the deck. As for the rest of the cards that we have, 3 Destiny Draw that I already covered, a single Cyclone Blade if we need to actually deal with the back row that Jeexx has. We're gonna equip this to something like Dogman, good sound with it. Destiny Signal to be able to, when our stuff gets destroyed, get more additional bodies on the field. 2 D-Chain, this to boost our Destiny heroes. This can actually make Diamond Dude a decent beater, but mostly it's there to make Dogma unable to be beat over by anything, since at that point the only thing that goes over it is Malicious Fiend with Skyscraper, which is insane, but mostly it's there to make Dasher actually also very big. D-Shield, when an attacker position the hero that we have gets targeted for an attack, we can equip it with deal shield, flip it into defense, and then it can't be destroyed by battle. Obviously, like we've established, Jeexx doesn't have ways to get rid of spell traps. So then we'll just have a thing stayed in there. This can be used to protect something like Diamond Dew to let us maybe get some destiny draws out of it. And this is here for Captain Tenacious as well. That's what the one of Captain Tenacious is with. Is go with 1D shield. We got, we're trying to be Aster Phoenix. We gotta do Aster Phoenix things. Finally, the counter, actually a very good card. When a face of Destiny Hero monster you control is targeted for an attack, destroy the attacking monster. It would be hilarious if we establish Dogma. Jeexx somehow managed to get into Malicious Fiend, only to get blown up by the counter. That would be hilarious. And finally, 3 Eternal Dread, because we are actually playing the win con of just getting Clock Tower Prison to 4 counters in sitting there. We have 11.5 minutes for 3 decks. I think that's fine. But yeah, I do apologize for the very lengthy intro this time around, or intro bits, I guess is better. But hopefully you understand since we have had so much to cover. Regardless though, hopefully you enjoyed the deck breakdowns. Hopefully you have a very nice holiday time, whether or not you celebrate Christmas or not, and hopefully we can bring you some Christmas cheer with the game. So enjoy the rest of the episode and happy holidays, y'all. What is up, ladies and fellas? And I don't think I've ever. Yeah, I was just about to say I don't think I've ever said fellas here. I think that's supposed to be ladies and lads. And
all my fellas.
All my fellas. But yeah, welcome back to History Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey, and Merry Christmas. We are. For us, we're recording this early because not gonna be here for the holidays, so we're recording a couple extra episodes. But when you're seeing this, if everything goes smoothly, it should be around Christmas time. And kind of because of that, we decided to go back in time a little bit and take it under at the old Duelist packs, namely Jade and Yuki 1 through 3, and then that's a mouthful, and then Chaz, Zane, and Aster for my side. So unlike normally, we're actually going to be just playing 3 best of 1s here, because we could do best of 3s with these decks, but I think we'd rather share ourselves and you the suffering going through that.
I mean, I was thinking about this just now. You could have just put Gale, Bora, and Shura into each of these decks, and you could just win on turn 2 in each of these games.
That is something I definitely could have done. And let's say that how the decks actually are, that would definitely have made the decks better. But regardless, I think this will be fun, and we'll be opening our gift boxes in behind or in the box number 1 is a Jade and Yuki 1 versus Chaz, and Jeexx is going to be piloting the Jaden ones for all of these 3 because he is the hero player. But
get your game on.
It is time to get your game on and get your Christmas spirit on. And okay, I was thinking about
You're doing it wrong.
I was thinking about it because of the Christmas spirit, should I give you the gift of being able to go first? But then I decided that I'd instead take the gift paper myself. And
I'm disappointed in you right now. You didn't say Merry Chazmas or Chaz it up. How did this happen? Come on, man.
That's how it goes. But
that's how it do be.
Merry Christmas to you, and my gift to you on this Christmas day is going to be a humble tea set and pass.
How about I put one over you and use Fusion Sage to search a Polymerization to my hand?
That is something that you're allowed to do, yes.
We're back to this again, and then I'll set 3, and I'll set 4, and I'll pass.
God, that is... Alright.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen. Arm Dragon is gonna hit the board, and we lost the game.
I am going to normal summon W-Wing Catapult.
No. No.
Is that okay?
You couldn't be. Yeah, it's okay.
Then I'm going to flip summon V Tiger Jet. I'll be honest, I don't fucking remember what like back row there was.
I have many options.
Battle phase.
I have many options.
Direct swing with wing catapult.
No,
All right, me too. And then I am going to contact fuse these two, since that's how these were, right? Yeah. By banishing, because it's not bad enough how you have to do these things. These two, and go into Tiger Catapult.
in defense.
In defense, yes. And then I'm going to end my turn.
Okay, then I'll
This
just go
card
stand by main
is some
pass.
ass, by the way. Oh, well, this is... Alright. I mean...
By the way, I have 2020.
What do you have?
I have 20 monsters, 20 spells traps.
Oh,
Actually, I might have 24 monsters even.
Well, I'm going to flip this thing. I'm not going to declare. I'm going to flip this thing to attack. And I'm going to also normal summon an X head cannon. Is that okay?
Yeah, that is okay.
Battle phase?
That's fine. Yeah.
Head cannon for 18.
Yeah. And I'll draining shield this one to gain 2,000.
Yeah. And then we'll go main 2 and...
Then you will use VW Tiger Catapult with X hit cannon to special summon.
Unfortunately, there's nothing there.
Oh, baby.
He has the polymerization. So...
I am going to activate Skyscraper.
Ooh.
And I will set from my hand a card to special summon from my hand, as it is the only card left in my hand. Elemental Hero Bubble Man.
He is
And then I will go into battle phase, and I would like to declare an attack on the X-hit cannon. And by using Skyscraper's effect, I give 1,000 attack to Bubble Man, which means we will trade.
Yep.
Is this okay?
I was gonna say, but yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, you don't get the draw if you have any other cards.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is fine. Head cannon.
Okay, Bubble Man gets destroyed, and I will activate Hero Signal. When a
Yep.
monster I control is destroyed by battle, I get to special summon from my deck another elemental hero monster. I will special summon Sparkman. And then I will attack with Sparkman, targeting the VW Tiger Catapult, and I activate Skyscraper's effect. I gain 1,000 attack, so he will attack with 2,600 attack. Anything on that?
I got nothing. It is dead, and I take 600, and then I'm gonna flip up Shtonian Blast. So the only thing on the field is Sparkman, and Skyscraper is doing damage calculation only, so we'll take 800.
Damn. Not here. Then I pass.
Yeah.
That was a turn and a half, wasn't it? Huh?
That sure was. I guess a normal summon White Dragon Head.
Yeah.
Battle phase for 1500.
Yeah.
And pass.
Aha! I will
No way.
pass.
Oh, alright. Well, normal summon Z Metal Tank.
Yeah.
I would have had the XYZ!
You would have
Battle
had the
phase,
Yeah,
1500
well,
and 1500.
Yeah, that's fine.
We go main 2, and I will equip this thing to Dragon Head to give it 600 attack and defense.
Yeah, that's okay.
And then I'll set a back row and pass.
Special summon.
You special summon this thing. If you have Draining Shield, it's gonna be awkward. It's great. Normal summon Dragon Head, number 2.
Yeah.
Battle Phase.
Yeah.
Dragon Head.
I'm
Dragon
gonna
Head.
activate
Tank.
from my hand. A hero emerges.
Yeah.
And
there's only one thing.
reveal skyscraper.
Oh, okay.
Let's go!
Chess! Chess fucking Princeton, baby! The only thing that I needed was for you to draw 2 skyscrapers and like
Not a single monster before the next turn where I would have drawn 4 monsters.
Now this
in
is
a
where
row.
I'd say some iconic Chaz lines, but unfortunately I don't remember any. I just remember he talks like this.
Chaz it up.
Chaz it up, baby. I have a lot of money and my brothers are rich and they give me cards, but the cards are shit and I stay
They're
playing
actually
with Ojama.
super good, and I almost win, but then I hate my brothers because I lose and I get depressed. Yeah.
But then I have Ojama Yellow, which allows me to go into Ojama King.
Damn.
Anyways,
Look at that speed.
what a great game! I sure miss this caveman era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah.
Where if you don't draw monsters, you just sit there like, yup,
Yeah,
this
it's like,
spells just do nothing.
This is certainly. Oops. But yeah, that was. I was given the gift of drawing monsters.
My man drew more monsters than I drew fucking cards. Holy shit.
I think I had like 26 to be fair, but still that was still kind of ridiculous. 2 skyscraper and 2 monsters is. Yeah, that is.
Okay.
That's the way
Not
to go, but
exactly
yeah.
2020.
But no worries, Jaden is the protagonist. He gets buffed by losing. And now he's
That's
going to be up
true.
against the edgelord himself, Zane Truesdale.
Oh my god. That's the
remember-
brother of Cyrus Truesdale.
I remember he talks something like this. He talks in a complex,
No,
and
don't.
then he becomes an edgelord.
He's Omega edgy the whole time, man.
Anyway, so
And
we
then he
can
just-
still. I guess we can still do this. So since I won the first one, you can go first here.
Aw,
Oh yeah. Oh, I just realized. Also, I'm on Cyber Dragon, so it's actually good for me. But I swear that was not why I picked the Go Second. Like hand on my
Surely
heart,
that was
actually.
not one.
Legit, like hand on my heart.
I'm gonna set 1 card and pass.
Well, we are in for a fucking treat, are we? Not.
We actually are. I am not even kidding.
A normal summon Cyber Phoenix.
Yeah, that's Cyber Phoenix.
Poke you for 1200.
Yeah.
And then I think I will end my turn.
All right, buddy. It's fucking time. I will
is it
activate
Neo's time?
from my hand
Neo Space?
Fake Hero to special summon Elemental Hero Neos in attack position. Then I will activate Neo Space to
Oh,
give all
shit.
of my Elemental Hero Neos monsters and Elemental Hero Neos Fusion monsters 500 attack. And then I will normal summon Neo Spatian Flare Scarab. Then I will go into combat and I will attack using Elemental Hero Neos on your Cyber Phoenix.
We'll take
Can it attack?
80,
It cannot attack.
100?
It cannot attack. Never mind.
Oh
it
yeah,
can't attack.
I forgot Fake Hero. Is.
Yeah.
So I
Fake
assume
Hero isn't
you'd
sick.
rather go into the
Oh, yeah.
fusion and then attack with the fusion.
Yeah, I will return both of these cards
To
into
the deck.
It's even better than the other contact fusion we just had, buddy.
Yeah.
And then I will special summon Elemental Hero Flare Neos in attack position.
That is quite terrifying.
And I will set this 1 card that I also haven't had.
Yeah,
and
so
it gains
that's
400 attack for each.
42, right? 400 for each is 42. That's a lot. So I'm taking 3,000.
Wait, 42? What do you mean 42?
It's 3,000 because of Neo Space, but it
Oh,
also
yeah,
gains
yeah,
from
yeah,
Neo
forgot.
Space and Euro. So I'm taking 3,000 in this one to the
Forgot.
grave, and then we draw 1.
I forgot I had Neo Space. And then I pass. We fucking did it! We did
We
it, boys!
sure did.
Got our Neos!
Normal summon Cyber Dark Keel.
Okay.
Is that okay?
What does this do?
Creature swap.
Okay. That's actually the most thing I've
You,
ever
you,
seen.
you can have my keel, and actually you won't have my keel. So yeah, it's 42. So you're taking what? 34. Yeah. There we go, main 2. We set a card. Yeah, why did I not set before? I'm not too smart.
I don't know.
But,
I'll set a card and pass.
yep. What could it be?
It's nothing.
Just
Doesn't matter.
I don't think there's anything.
There's a
there.
Clayman. Clayman exists, so you could be afraid of Clayman.
Would I think that it's specifically Clayman?
Yeah. There's also a couple other cards with like 1,000 something, you know.
Normal Infernal Dragon?
Okay.
There's no way it's specifically Clayman.
Surely
And
it's not Clayman. Maybe you should still attack with Flare News.
that's the safe play, because I mean, what are the odds that you're gonna get anything relevant? But I still think I'm gonna be greedy and swing with Dragon. And yeah.
I lost to getting outskilled again.
Jake? I'm literally
Video game.
I literally because this is I had a hard time getting to 40 cards here. I literally threw in 2 of each of the Cyberdark cards, and they are there. So if I want to be a psycho, I can future fusion into diffusion. But I literally, my thought process was, I'm gonna have these there so I can normal summon one of them and creature swap it for whatever you have, because they're, I mean, your shit is garbage in general as well. But in this one case,
You want to know what the sad part is? I
Yeah.
had 2 cards set that protect a elemental hero, or I had a card that protects an elemental hero monster from attacks, and I had a card that says destroy spell traps up to the number of elemental hero monsters you control. So
that's,
when I drew my Flare Scarab, I was like, oh yeah, this is why this fucking shit sucks.
oh, that's tragic. Like, that's the shit. Like, you you actually get Neos out on the field. You actually go into Neos fusion and you get it to stick. And what you get on creature swap, thanks.
Yeah, the one fucking thing in the game that. I mean, I guess you could have also just popped it, but I wouldn't have been mad about that because it's -1 for both of them,
Yeah.
basically. That would have been fine because I'm already losing when I have a Neos out, and if I lose the
Yeah.
Neos in any way, I'm already lost. Like, fuck.
But I mean, I did say before this that I mean, there's always a world where you just sack, and that's what we're doing, baby. Spreading the Christmas spirit with sacking. Anyways, finally we have Aster Phoenix and the greatest Jaden pack, right?
This is the worst Jaden pack.
Yes.
This is even worse than the Neos one, which makes this.
But I was showing a bit of a spoiler, and ladies and gentlemen, I would like to point out how many cards Jeexx has in his deck. We're cooking with gas, baby.
I'm going to discard 1 Captain Gold to search from my deck
Mm-hmm.
a skyscraper.
Yep.
And I pass.
What?
There's nothing I can do because if I do the thing that I'm supposed to do in the situation, I lose.
Normal summon diamond, dude.
Yeah, like exactly. If this happens, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Sure.
Okay, well, that goes to the bottom of the deck, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This goes to the bottom of the deck. Well, Destiny draw,
Mm-hmm.
and for it we'll pitch.
Malicious.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a skill game. I must say. And yeah, I guess we'll poke for 14.
I hope somebody in this fucking company changes it so I can use Control A. God damn it, man. Getting so sick of that. Ah, I'm gonna normal summon Infernal Gainer. I'm gonna attack using Infernal Gainer.
Yep.
Yes, and then I will pass.
Well,
Does this fucking thing have Dark City?
let's
You're gonna play Dark City. and then
banish
you're gonna...
this thing, which is
Yes.
something that I probably
should have done last turn.
yeah.
So you didn't draw.
You wanna know where malicious was, by the way, in my deck? The top
was
card.
top, yeah. See, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why you do it instantly.
Then we're all gonna attribute to malicious
So
to go into Dasher.
Ah, yes, Dasher, the one card in your deck that is strong enough on tribute 1 to swing home.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I might have 3 Dogma and a Malicious in my hand.
That's
Just-
nice.
Just maybe. We'll set a card and we'll pass. And good luck dealing with the 21 beat stick. Oh, well, yeah, that'll do it.
Attack into that.
But actually, will it deal with it?
I'm done.
Merry Christmas, everyone! Oh! Yeah, these were some hands. Because, yeah, my hand was Dogma, and Malicious.
Yeah, that's... yeah, that's not fucking bad.
What was I
Fucking
drawing?
great.
I was drawing Fearmonger. Nice. Yeah. Aren't you glad that we went back to play these Duelist packs? Oh, yeah. These aren't great.
These were arguably worse. No.
And I think it's worse than
Inarguably
Venomir.
worse than the Venomir and worse than you top deck in War.
Okay, that's not bad though. Like
That's horrible.
No,
Like,
that's
arguably,
that's
I would
fucking
argue that
based.
this is the exact same thing, except it just doesn't let you play cards. You know, like this doesn't allow you to play cards, but you had Malicious into Dasher, and then you had this thing as well, which is like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, okay. I guess I just got outskilled again.
I mean, at this point, you should expect it. It's like, you know, Joshua. He learned his thing from me. You know, he might be a world champ, multi-time world champ, but it's like, I taught him a trick or two. I'll just say that much. Yeah. for real though, we didn't really have many expectations going into this because like I think we were talking about it last time. I think it was yesterday for us. Spoiler alert. That we recorded the Raging Battle episode. But yeah, these are something like in between a starter deck and a structure deck. But the problem, even with like, I would say they're better than starters, but even like starters usually at least have some good back row. These usually didn't really have a great back row. It's like you have a coherent theme, but the theme ain't the greatest. And though, like, how do you get into shit is another thing. Also, fun fact I almost forgot to mention about this one. You have no access to spell draft removal, right?
None.
I obviously was like, yeah, I'm gonna include Dreadmaster. Then I was like, wait, if I have Clock Tower Prison at 4 counters, you literally can't deal damage to me.
Wait, let me check something.
Because you're the way the
no, I don't have any ways of dealing with
Infernal Sniper is the fusion. It can attack in defense, right? And it can attack
No,
directly. It's
inflict
not.
1000 damage to your opponent.
Oh, okay,
It's
yeah,
correct.
that was the one. Because I thought like that was one thing that I was like, okay, that might be a problem. But apart from that,
By the way,
yeah,
I have to point this out. My next draw was Dark Fusion,
yep,
and I had 2 Malicious Edges in hand,
yep.
and I could have summoned this thing. I scooped so early, man. This is what tilting does to you guys. Actually, no, I shuffled my deck. Never mind. I shuffled my deck by accident when I was trying to mill it, so it wouldn't have been that.
Okay, yeah.
Never mind. Never mind.
But
Yeah.
there is a possibility it could have been Dark Fusion. And also, hell, if
It was
there's
Dark
one
Piling, then
thing
it's
that we have at this point noticed, there is always a chance you draw some bullshit out. I mean, hell,
there is no bullshit out.
hell, bro.
Like in the previous 2 decks, there was no outs at all. Like actually, no, never mind. No, in the first game, the out was I draw any monster.
Yeah.
Literally, any monster in the fucking deck is enough.
How many
to
times?
Stabilize.
How many times have I, by the way, like I have just literally like drawn the win to the.
But the thing is, in most of these decks, for example, you had something that you could draw in that situation. You had some way of getting into it. Like for me, my play is the most unrealistic because I didn't even consider this a possibility. I have 1 copy of Malicious Fiend in my entire extra deck because I was like, oh, that's impossible. I can't do this. I need 2 Malicious Edges in hand. It's not gonna happen. I don't have Stratos. And then it happens. And then I don't draw Dark Fusion.
And that's the problem you have, dear friend. You do not believe in the power of the cards, the heart of the cards. You always gotta believe in the heart of the cards, man.
Just gotta believe.
Man, at this point, I think like whenever slash draw is actually wait, that was a thing already way back, right? Never mind. I was gonna say like at this point, like bro, I should invest in slash draw. I gotta believe. Thank you, Parappa.
No, Slash Draw is like ancient. Isn't ancient. It's fairly new.
I gotta believe.
It's 2018.
Exactly, Parappa. Like, you know,
Yes.
Parappa has a point. You just gotta believe. But yeah. Going forward, we will, like we've said, like and established, we will be doing the duelist packs. Sort of as like, oh yeah. Which reminds me, the New Year's episode will be actually a duelist pack. It's the first time we're actually doing the duelist packs now. Gonna be doing them as they've actually come out. So, Jeexx, since after a very close and hard-fought battle, you ended up unfortunately coming a bit short. You get the pick. So, would you like to play the Yusei or the Yugi one?
I would like to play the Yugi one.
The Yugi one. All right. I wonder what you're gonna be. Which kind of deck you're gonna be building?
I wonder.
There's a lot of
so much
variants,
variety.
And surely when we both built a proto for it just to see like what it could look like, surely they weren't the exact same 40 cards with the exact same ratios.
Surely not. Surely it wouldn't consist of 3 big shield gardeners, 2 buster bladers, 3 gadgets, 3 marshmallows, 3 red gadgets, 3 yellow gadgets, 2 dark magicians, 2 summon skull, 3 monster reborn, 3 polymerization, 3 swords of revealing light, 1 light force sword, mirror force, spellbinding circle, and stronghold, the moving fortress.
The one life force sword is what like actually sent me about that shit, which was like the fact that we both like are like, yeah, one of these is the play here is just like the cherry on
Like what?
top. But yeah,
You already got like 6 tribute monsters. You don't want to play 3 copies of Summon Skull just because of that fact. And you actually maybe you do want to play 3 copies of Summoned Skull, so you can get it. But everything in Yusei's deck is smaller. Like in the main deck is smaller than everything in Yugi's deck.
Yeah,
Like the
everything is
gadgets
super
are
tiny.
bigger.
That like
And if
they're
you
like actually okay. It'll be hard to say like how it can just like it can go into the same cross, but like if we can't like bro, it's gonna be a gadget beat down.
does it even have a way to out Marshmallow consistently?
Consistently.
Yes.
I don't think it can out Marshmallow now. Actually,
I think it can. I think there's a junk warrior thing that lets you.
a Junk Warrior just got out attack.
No, no, no. There's a spell. No, no, that's way later. I think.
It'll be
I think
funny
it
if
would
it's
be
just
later.
like Marshmallow uh walls the whole deck. Like that will be funny.
That would be funny. Yes, that would be like summoning defender, because defender would have walled the entire deck for you as well.
Yeah, I mean you have skyscrapers, so that changes things
Oh
a
no,
little
no,
bit. But
skyscraper doesn't help because defender has 100 attack. It's only attack.
oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Then it's literally what malicious fiend. Well, because malicious edge is like
Two
2-6.
point
Yeah,
five thousand.
216. Yeah,
That's 2-6. Yeah.
yeah. So it's literally just uh
I mean, there's
fiend.
also the option of I think Infernal Prodigy, or was it Infernal Gain?
Prodigy for control. If discover tribute, draw. It's probably the other one. Imperial Gainer. Banish this card, talk about 3 minutes,
No,
and can
it's
make a
only two.
second attack. Yeah,
Never mind.
that doesn't even do. Yeah, it's literally.
That's GG. Yeah, that would have been GG too.
I mean, you had an out though.
I did have an yeah. I should have just top deck. I should have just not given up. I
And
should have
you
just
know,
kept hoping. I should have just been like the protagonist.
you gotta stop tilting, man.
Dude, I've played 5 games and I've got fucked by a top deck in all of them.
But you
I
could
don't know.
have the redemption arc where you top deck and
Ah,
save the
yes.
situation.
I top deck, and it's like the snatch steal thing, but it's
It's like the Snatch
happening
Steal or
in
the
every
Snake
single
Rain,
match.
or there have been others as
Oh
well.
man.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, you have card rotator in the Yusei pack, so you can change Marshmallow into attack position and just swing into it with a massive ass junk warrior.
Oh yeah, that's
The
true.
card even has the card has Marshmallow on it.
That's actually funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, smart pick by you, I think, taking the deck with Monster Reborn out of my hands, because we all know how that goes. But yeah, regardless, even if this was a blowout, which you know at this point you should expect it, since there is a clear difference in our skills. But you know, hopefully Jeexx can pick it, pick it back up. I'm obviously just playing, just to establish that, just in case. But hopefully you enjoyed regardless, and hopefully if you celebrate Christmas, hopefully have a very nice Christmas, and if not, like happy holidays, and enjoy the, at least here, a beautiful winter season. Anything you wanna end us on, Jeexx, before we get out of here?
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I have come to see you again.
Hopefully you guys are listening to more lighthearted Christmas tunes and not whatever Jeexx is listening over there. But regardless, thank you for joining us once again, and we will see you on New Year's Eve if everything goes correctly for the Yugi versus Yusei match. So we'll see you all there, and enjoy the holidays and have a good one, y'all. Peace.
How did I fucking lose, man? I lost all 3 games, and I lost like I've lost like 7. No, not 7, 8 games in a row now, guys. How the fuck is this happening? What happened? I was winning. I was winning so hard. My Christmas cheers slowly draining away from me. But yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody, and Happy Holidays. Bye bye.